The search for the perfect photo has already led many people to risk themselves in dangerous places, trying to capture their dream shot. Some go right to the limit in pursuit of that unforgettable moment, but what starts as something simple can, unfortunately, end in tragedy. There are numerous real stories of people who did not survive while trying to take the perfect photo, and that is exactly what you will see here today. So go ahead and leave your like, click the button below to subscribe, and let's get started. The case of Ramandeep Singh, a 15-year-old teenager from India, is yet another tragedy related to accidents that happened while trying to take selfies in dangerous situations. The young man, who was playing at home with his father's licensed revolver, ended up accidentally firing the weapon at his own head while attempting to take a selfie. The gun, which was usually kept in a cupboard, was loaded at the time of the accident. Ramandeep was taken to a hospital in Pathankot in the state of Punjab, but despite medical efforts, he unfortunately did not survive his injuries. This case is part of a series of similar incidents that have occurred across various parts of India, where young people try to capture daring photos in risky places or situations, putting their lives on the line. Apart from this tragic episode, India has already experienced other fatal accidents involving selfies. In Mumbai, for instance, a man drowned while trying to save a girl who had fallen into the sea as she was taking a selfie. In Jammu and Kashmir, a young man died after falling from the top of a fort while attempting a photo. In Chennai, another teenager was hit by a train when he tried to take a selfie in front of it. And in Kerala, a man was severely injured while attempting to photograph himself with an elephant during a festival. These cases highlight the dangers of taking selfies in unsuitable places or with hazardous objects. The pursuit of a perfect image can lead to fatal situations, and it is important for everyone to think about safety before taking a risk for a photo. In May of 2016, a shocking tragedy hit visitors of the Xixiaku Wildlife Park in China when a man named Jia Lijun lost his life after being pulled into the water by a 1.5-ton walrus while trying to take selfies with the animal. Jia, a businessman who was visiting the park alone, was filming and taking pictures for his social media when the walrus, raised by its keeper since it was a calf, grabbed him from behind and dragged him into the zoo's pool. Witnesses reported that Jia was distracted, facing away from the animal as he took photos. The walrus, apparently without aggressive intentions, was merely playing with him, but it gripped him so forcefully that he went underwater and ended up dying. The keeper, who attempted to save Jia, was also seized by the animal and drowned in his effort to rescue the visitor. The accident sparked criticism about the zoo's safety. Many argued that the lack of a proper barrier between the public and the animals was the key shortcoming leading to the tragedy. The zoo, for its part, claimed that the walrus was simply being friendly, given that the keeper had known it for more than 10 years. However, this did not stop social media and the public from demanding a review of safety measures to prevent future incidents. As a gesture of responsibility, the zoo paid compensation of 900,000 yuan, equivalent to about 128,000 US dollars, to Jia's family. This incident stands as a warning about the dangers of interacting with wild animals and highlights the need to ensure the safety of both visitors and the animals themselves in places like zoos and wildlife parks. On the 9th of August 2015, the town of Villaseca de la Sagra, near Madrid, became the stage of a tragic incident during a bull run. 32-year-old David Melado Lopez lost his life after being attacked by a bull while filming the event on his cell phone. He stepped away from the safe area to record footage of a downed bull, failing to notice the approach of another animal. The bull charged at him, pinning him against a wall and causing multiple injuries, including a blow to the neck. David had come to the bull run with friends, and although he had never participated in one, he was there only as a spectator. After the attack, he received immediate assistance from paramedics and was taken to Hospital Virgen de la Salud in Toledo. However, his injuries were extremely severe, and despite the medical team's best efforts, David did not make it and passed away around 6 in the morning following a second surgery. The incident generated widespread shock and prompted reflection on the dangers of these types of festivals, which blend tradition with genuine risks. The local mayor, Jesus Hjosa, remarked that the tragedy could have been prevented had the participant been more attentive to his surroundings. The use of cell phones for filming and the general lack of preparedness among participants were singled out as contributing factors. Bull runs, with their mix of age-old tradition and hazard, remain controversial, particularly regarding the safety of participants and the welfare of the animals. Recalling other deadly bull runs, such as those in Pamplona, which have claimed numerous lives over the years, David Melado Lopez's death sparked heated debate debates over the need for stricter measures to protect both participants and onlookers. Many questioned the sensibility of running in front of bulls without proper training, as well as cell phone use, which can distract attention from immediate threats. David's death, given that he was merely there to witness the event and had no experience with bull runs, stands as a grim reminder of the inherent dangers. His passing, deemed by many as an avoidable misfortune, was deeply mourned by family and friends. It reignited conversations about whether tradition should be balanced against safety practices and animal welfare in modern bull runs. On December 25, 2015, 33-year-old tourist Joshua Burwell, originally from Indiana in the United States, died after falling from a cliff at Sunset Cliffs, a famed nature reserve in San Diego, California. The accident happened in the afternoon, when Joshua parked his car to take in the scenery and snap some photos. Witnesses reported that he was absorbed in an electronic device, which caused him to lose his footing and plunge from the cliff edge, about 18 meters high, onto a rocky surface below. A local lifeguard, among the first to arrive, stated that it looked as though Joshua was more focused on the device in his hands than on where he was stepping. It's uncertain whether he was trying to take a selfie or simply reviewing photos, but it's clear that his distraction proved fatal. The tragedy reignited debates on the dangers posed by selfies and by distractions from electronic devices in high-risk settings. Some studies indicate that, in certain years, deaths involving selfies exceed those from shark attacks, underscoring the peril tied to reckless cell phone use in dangerous scenarios. The story of Joshua Burwell is a chilling reminder that such distraction can cost lives, especially in rugged natural locations. In a grim turn of events in May of 2015, 18-year-old Romanian Ana Ursu lost her life while attempting to take a selfie on top of a stationary train in the city of Iași, Romania. She and a friend were hunting for the perfect selfie, paying no mind to the inherent dangers. During the attempt, Ana raised one leg and accidentally touched a live high-voltage wire carrying 27,000 volts. The jolt was so immense that it caused an explosion, resulting in Anna's death. Her friend, who had also been on top of the train, was violently thrown clear by the electrical burst but survived. A passerby, realizing what had happened, ran to extinguish the flames on Anna before calling the emergency services. Nevertheless, despite those efforts, Anna succumbed to her injuries in the hospital, suffering burns over half her body. Anna's friend later recounted that they hadn't considered the potential consequences and were simply fixated on taking a photo to post on social media. On May 31, 2014, a deadly aircraft accident claimed the lives of pilot Amritpal Singh and his passenger when their small Cessna 150 went down near Front Range Airport in the United States. The official investigation concluded that a highly unusual cause was to blame. The pilot had become distracted by taking selfies during the flight. According to the NTSB, weather conditions at the time were fairly normal, visibility of 7 miles, and clouds about 300 feet off the ground. However, the Cessna veered off the standard flight path and abruptly lost altitude after one maneuver. The plane crashed in a field and, after bouncing once, wound up oriented vertically. Investigators found no mechanical faults to account for the accident, but at the crash site, they recovered a GoPro camera containing images and video footage of the pilot and passengers posing for selfies mid-flight, with the flash activated. NTSB analysis determined that using the phone's flash function, particularly during takeoff and in nighttime conditions, likely blinded the pilot. Dazzled, he lost his spatial bearings and control of the plane. The report concluded that the pilot's selfie-induced distraction led to his spatial disorientation and the plane's crash. This sad event illustrates the serious risks of being sidetracked by personal devices during activities demanding full attention, such as piloting. Always remember, if you are flying, driving, or performing any task that requires concentration, put the phone away. A single lapse can cost you your life. 18-year-old Oscar Reyes lost his life in a tragic episode in January of 2015 while trying to join in on an online trend known as #SelfieOlympics. This virtual competition challenged people to take ever more daring selfies in order to outdo others and rack up likes on social media. Oscar's participation began when he saw a selfie featuring a teenager dressed as SpongeBob SquarePants, shared on Facebook, which rapidly garnered 200 likes. Spurred on by its popularity, he resolved to craft an even more dramatic photo. Setting up at home, he climbed onto his bathroom door, attempting to get his reflection in the mirror. During the process, however, he lost his balance, crashed down, and struck his head on the toilet. Oscar was discovered unconscious shortly afterward and pronounced dead soon thereafter. This tragic occurrence starkly illustrates the dangers of so-called extreme selfies, which have grown increasingly popular with youth seeking validation on social media. Is a selfie really worth your life? A fatal quest for memorable pictures cost two young men their lives in Turkey. The tragedy took place when a group of 5 friends traveling from Alanya to Antalya pulled over near an airport to snap a few shots. Chasing a creative, audacious frame, they came up with the risky idea of lying down on the asphalt for a group selfie. Sadly, this stunt ended in devastation. Night had already fallen when a truck barreled down the road. Unable to see the prone individuals, the driver ran over 2 of them, identified as 17-year-old Muhammed Bozkurt and 19-year-old Kaglar Savashi. The other 3 friends, who escaped unharmed, were left in shock at what they'd just witnessed. Visibly shaken, the truck driver summoned the authorities right away. Investigations later revealed that the youths had been consuming alcohol prior to the accident. Tests were also performed on the driver, but the results were not made public. Sadly, all in pursuit of a spectacular photo, 2 lives were lost, leaving families and friends in mourning over a needless tragedy. In September of 2015, a heartbreaking event unfolded at the Taj Mahal, one of the globe's most famous monuments, located in Agra, India. 66-year-old Japanese tourist Hideto Ueda fell to his death while attempting to take a selfie in the iconic palace. As he posed, he lost his balance and plunged from a substantial height. Rushed to a nearby medical facility, Ueda sadly succumbed to his injuries. This case underscores the sometimes lethal risks of angling for selfies in high-profile tourist destinations. The Taj Mahal, renowned for its dazzling architecture, draws thousands of visitors every day. Despite its breathtaking appeal, one cannot discount how easily accidents can occur in teeming areas or spots with precarious access. On September 1, 2015, 19-year-old Houston resident DeLeon Alonzo Smith lost his life in a tragic mishap. Inside his apartment, Smith attempted to take a selfie while handling a gun, mistakenly believing it unloaded. When he pulled the trigger, the bullet struck him in the throat, dealing fatal wounds. The episode happened just one day before he was due to begin college and left his family devastated, especially his grandmother, who was overcome by grief. He had visited her the previous day to wish her a happy birthday. Houston police reported that paramedics arrived soon after the gunshot, only to find Smith deceased. Despite the horrific outcome, the case was treated as an accident because the gun had been handled under the assumption it wasn't loaded. Up to now, no charges have been filed. DeLeon Smith leaves behind 2 young children and a grieving family. 17-year-old Xenia Ignatieva died while trying to snap a selfie on a railroad bridge in St. Petersburg, Russia. Xenia had sought to capture a dramatic shot of the tracks from above, part of a perilous trend circulating among some young people. She wasn't alone. Her friend Oksana waited down below, likely unaware of the imminent danger. It all started as a simple plan: take a remarkable photo that would stand out. Xenia wanted something truly striking and thought scaling the railway bridge was the way to get it. Once at the top, she aimed to feature the tracks behind her, but tragedy struck as she lost her balance. In a frantic bid to grab hold of something, she touched a live wire carrying 1,500 volts. The shock was instantly fatal. Police arrived after an anonymous report of youths playing on the bridge, but it was too late. The heartbreak and helplessness of that scene are beyond words. Too many young people choose to risk their lives for the sake of a photo that will grace social media timelines for a moment. The drive for an edgy, eye-catching shot has made some forget how dangerous it can be. Xenia's story stands as a sobering warning. No photo is worth a person's life. Taking pictures in perilous locales isn't just ill-advised. It can end in tragedy. Life is too valuable to be wagered for a trend or a fleeting temptation. Even if pressure to stand out on social media is high, safety and well-being come first. On April 10, 2020, a tragic accident occurred in Belo Vale, in the central region of the state of Minas Gerais, Brazil, which claimed the life of 23-year-old Gabriela do Nascimento. What began as a moment of fun ended in disaster when Gabriela, out with friends for a climbing excursion, tried snapping a selfie near one of the drops of the Mascot waterfall and fell roughly 100 meters to her death. Gabriela, who lived in Contagem in the metropolitan area of Belo Horizonte, Brazil, was with 15 friends visiting the site to go rock climbing. unnerving. The waterfall, situated by the MG 441 highway, is a popular draw for outdoor adventurers, admired for its dramatic scenery and thundering cascades. Despite its appeal, it also holds real dangers, especially in the slippery, uneven terrain close to the falls. According to the fire department, Gabriella had moved near one of the cascades to take a selfie, an ordinary enough idea in such a scenic spot. Tragically, she lost her footing and slipped, tumbling from the top of the waterfall. Firefighters were contacted immediately and began a high-stakes search in a challenging area. They had to hike roughly 1,500 meters along steep ground to reach her. Despite their dedicated efforts, they discovered Gabriella showing no signs of life. Yet another life was lost in the quest for a simple photo. Don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this one.